And just a small point on the construction sector, there's been sustained growth. It is just today short of 10% of our GDP, but we continue to see near double-digit growth in this sector. Nearly 1 million people are employed directly, and we know the partnership between Mabani Group and the Rendeavor Group here will see a couple of thousands of other Kenyans joining the workforce, and that is something really we all would like to see, given the expanding middle class that is really looking at demand for both residential, commercial infrastructure, which is really offered here. Mine as an enabler to working, as Stephen said, courting investors to come. This is another cup, and we are really happy. We wish we could be able to do more of this week on week, month on month is what we want to really do. And for us at Kenya Investment Authority, will really be there for you, to walk with you all the way. We met you when you are thinking at the ideation, you're going into operation, and we want to walk with you the entire journey. My final parting shot is we now all agree. The question is not whether Africa will grow. The question is where that growth will be anchored. We believe it's in Kenya, as Stephen you said, and we believe possibly the pivot out of the continent will be built right here in this city. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Longest period, Kenya's urbanization was not very well structured, not very well organized. But with time, both government and private sector have come to try and create order and predictability in the sector. And so we have seen a rise of organized developments, communities, where there is school, there is hospital, factory, live, work and play kind of concept. And I think Tatu is a very good example of that. So we want to encourage more of those, but also to say that we are very keen to have investable projects so that we don't just look at housing as a social product. It should be an investable project. So even if somebody is not coming to live there, they can be able to get their income. Instead of everybody buying a quarter acre of land, you can have an apartment where you get your income, and that becomes a contribution to the economy and to everybody else. But also more significantly is that the entry of the Saudis into our housing market through the collaboration with Rendeavor is a big signal to other companies that are also looking to come to Kenya. But of a big note is that due to the disruptions we've had in the last few months, capital from around that region may be looking for somewhere to settle. And you have a feeling that Kenya offers a compelling destination for that kind of capital, and we'll continue to attract it actively and with purpose.
So there'll be over 700 jobs during the construction phase, but there's large office space, there's 36 retail outlets, so clearly there'll be direct job creation there as well. But I think more importantly and more broadly, what we're doing is building a modern international ecosystem with a strong Kenya flavour. So every bit adds to that ecosystem. So it has an impact on attracting investors into industrial service jobs. It makes the overall environment more attractive, and we will get a big multiplier effect in terms of other kinds of investment. Some of that is going to come from Saudi. We already have today additional big Saudi investors with us, and the CS very kindly has already spoken to them. So we will catalyse more Saudi investment, but we'll catalyse other investment on the back of Jabali. Jabali is a bit of a statement building. It's got a big role to play. 2 towers, 33 stories and 25 stories, over 350 apartments, very high-end amenities, so a new standard in terms of urban living and lifestyle. 80% of the first tower has already been sold, and now Mabani is buying 50% of the entire project. Tatu is not just about luxury residential. We go all the way down to affordable housing. And doing this helps all those other sectors. So, yeah, the luxury end is important, the other ends are even more important.
It's close to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is working as a strategic partnership with all of the countries here in the East, and if we're going to start, should be start with Kenya. One of the fast-growing market here. I think there is many opportunities, and at the same time, as the Minister mentioned before, it's a safe place here for investment, transfer money in and out, and also if we're going to have a good environment and good ecosystem like what we have here with Rendeavor, trusted partner to start with them, I think it's a great opportunities here and high potential for the future. For Saudi Arabia, we try just as Mabani, try to bridging the relationship between Saudi Arabia Ethiopia and Kenya itself. It's a gate for Africa, surrounded by many countries. If we're going to start our business, I think the right choice we're going to have is to start here with Kenya. For Jabali itself, it's just a pilot project. We have many projects also. We're going to work with Rendova in, and we have our partners in Saudi Arabia and other investors are going to follow Mabani to come here. I think it's a great time to start working together for future, for our generation, and for mutual benefits for both companies and both countries.
It's a big day for us because we are here to witness this strategic alliance between Mabani Al Jazeera Holding Group and Rendezvous. Now, Mabani being a company from Saudi Arabia, having come and found a partnership with a company here in Kenya to offer housing solutions, investment solutions. And I think this is not just a signal to the company itself, but also for other Saudi companies that are looking for places where they can be able to invest their capital. And I want to say that Kenya has many investable projects. And I think this is one classic one. Also, we have aligned the law to ensure that there is the necessary foundation for any investor who wants to come to Kenya. And our foundation for across the entire continent. From a macroeconomic point of view, if you want to bring your money or evacuate your money tomorrow, you need no permission from anybody. You can wire in your money, you can wire back your dividends, and I think that's very important. On the issue of currency stability, you're aware for the last 2-3 years, our Kenya to dollar has been at around 128, 129, and we have been able to maintain that even in the worst economic times, including the energy crisis that we are just about to overcome. That shows you that without that crisis, maybe it would have been at around 110. So again, that's something that is very important for anybody who is investing their money, because they not want to go to an economy where you bring your money at X value and maybe 1-2 years down the road you have 20-30% devaluation. So I think the resilience of the Kenyan shilling has been very important in attracting the investments. And I'm also happy that owing to that, many of the buyers are actually buying even in hard currency. They have that kind of confidence on our shilling, that at any one time the value will not play beyond what we have seen in the initiative through a stable macroeconomic policy, and also through other incentives by the government. And allow me to cite the removal of the visa for Africans. Anybody from the African continent who wants to come to Kenya requires no visa. And this has made anybody from South Africa, from Egypt, from any part of the continent, and you have some disposable capital you want to invest somewhere, you are sure Kenya is that place. And I want to confirm that this is not a short-term policy. We have seen the real outcome of this visa-free engagement, both in terms of tourism and investors. So as we continue to look at other areas in which we can be able to streamline so as to give more confidence to the business community, I want to say that the Africa visa-free policy and Kenya's growing diaspora population, it now stands for the last 3 years, there are about 500,000 Kenyans who are currently employed through the government initiative of Maju outside. But beyond that, we think the population could be something close to 800,000 Kenyans working abroad. They want to invest in their own country, but they also want to invest in projects that are investable, and there's governance and all those issues around that. So the existence of projects like this are a clear attraction also for them. And all we would request is that as we go out there, one of the things we are telling our Kenyans, even as you work out, remember to invest. People are desirous of organized, well-developed and structured neighborhoods. And I think we cannot say enough of that. And I think Tatu has been able to offer this, that you want an ecosystem where you're not only sure of today, but also tomorrow, and nobody is going to come and work outside the building code that is there. So again, for anybody who wants to be able to jog in the morning, walk, have a place to play, you know, that whole ecosystem becomes very important. And I want to say that this also helps to facilitate government's efforts, because the affordable housing is an attempt for us to get citizens living together in an organized, structured way, so that we can give them services such as education, health, and others. But we also recognize that government alone cannot be able to do it. So we also appreciate when the private sector continues to do this. But more importantly also is that prior to the coming up of some of these organized and structured, especially the high-rise development, we have seen agricultural land previously being consumed at a very high rate by the residential construction. So the more we go vertical, the more we are going to have land available for agriculture. We will ensure that with respect to the rule of law, respect for investor rights, and ensuring that all necessary approvals are given to guarantee the investors is going to be given and also accorded in good time. And maybe with that, I don't want to say beyond that, I think this is a fantastic project. We want to invite Kenyans to be able to invest back at home, to invest in their own country. And just for your information also, we have started a drive where we're asking Kenyans, especially those who are abroad, if you must have an account, have it in KCB or Equity or NCBA. What that does is also to pull back money from out there in the diaspora, and also have to have a pool of money in the country that can be used for other activities. And you have seen a lot of this working. So I think one of the areas where we feel very happy and vindicated is that solution to our problems, including housing, are within us. We really don't even need to go far. The capital is here, the land is here, the planners are here, and if we're able to organize ourselves well, we're able even to attract foreign investment, such as is demonstrated here today. Allow me to end here and to thank all of you for this great investment. I salute you.
Thank you so much.
Improving the ease of doing business and strengthening investor confidence continues to make a massive difference. Thank you so much. I'd also like to recognise John Wender. He's an old friend who's supported us for many years, and also your entire team at Invest Kenya. Investment promotion, as John knows, is a bit of a tireless task. It's often invisible work. It requires persistence, resilience, collaboration, and the ability and the tenacity to connect investors with opportunities. And we really appreciate the role that Invest Kenya continues to play in showcasing this incredible country, this incredible investment opportunity we have around the world. And to our distinguished guests from Saudi Arabia, thank you for being with us. A very warm welcome again into our family. We look forward to walking the journey with you and doing many things together in the years to come. We want to open the bridge between these two incredibly exciting parts of the world, have so much potential to do things together. The relationship between Kenya and Saudi Arabia has just enormous potential. Today's partnership is an important step in transforming that relationship into long-term collaboration that creates jobs, transfers knowledge and grows prosperity in both countries. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 years ago, few people believed Africa was ready for risky, patient, long-term investment. Infrastructure was limited. Urbanisation was accelerating faster than cities could accommodate. Too often, development was happening without planning. But 20 years ago, we saw things very differently. We saw the opportunity to build cities properly. Not just houses, not just industrial parks, but complete ecosystems where people can live, work, learn and thrive. Economic hubs that attract global investment as we are today. And that is why we founded Rendeavour. Today, across Africa, we're building cities that attract investment, generate very large-scale employment, and create opportunities for generations to come. Tatu City is perhaps the strongest example of what that vision can achieve. More than 110 large businesses have chosen to locate here. Thousands of families call Tatu City home. 5,000 students attend world-class schools every day. International investors are no longer asking whether there are opportunities in Africa. They're asking where are the best opportunities, where exactly should they go. Increasingly the answer is Kenya. Increasingly the answer is Tatu City. Jabali Towers is the next important chapter of this story. Successful cities develop vibrant urban centres where people choose not only to work but to make their lives and to live. Jabali Towers is at the heart of that urban centre at Tatu City, and sets an entirely new standard for modern urban living and lifestyles in Kenya. Construction is underway and demand continues to grow because people are excited about not simply investing in apartments, but investing in this city, investing in this ecosystem. This partnership is incredibly significant because it represents something larger than a real estate investment. Saudi Arabia is one of the world's most dynamic and important economies. Kenya is one of Africa's fastest growing investment destinations. Tatu City is the fastest growing new city on the continent. Together we have the opportunity to create partnerships across infrastructure, logistics, manufacturing, technology, tourism, housing and urban development. We know that many more Saudi investors will follow Mabani's example. In fact, they're already here today. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business today. At Rendeavour, our commitment is simple. We deliver. Thank you very much.
Oi, umeingia kwa shorts.
Please meet Linda. She's the mayor of Tatu City. So we're happy to be friends with her. It's very important.
Umeingia kwa shorts kama sana.
Thank you very much.
Chairman. Our VIP visitor today. Thank you. Eden from Tatu City.
Thank you. Thank you.
Important day, very important occasion for all of us. Holding Group Investment Signing Ceremony. Thank you so much for joining us today at Rendeavour. I'll be your Master of Ceremony today. Now today marks a very significant Rendeavour. It goes beyond that to reinforce inspiring words and for your continued leadership. At this point, I'd like to take the pleasure to invite the chairman of Mabani Al Jazeera Holding Group Limited, Mr.
مميزة الاحتفال بتوقيع مشروع أبراج جبالي.
To stand before you today on this special occasion and
to make his remarks. Welcome. Please join me in welcoming the Cabinet Secretary for Investment, Trade and Industry for the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, to make his remarks. Thank you so much. We'll now have Honorable Lee Kinyanjui join them as a witness.
Uweke kamera chini. Nani yako?
As a partner, I investigate for the future. Many more students will be coming back here. Here, if you like everything from getting started on the airport up to here, everything is nice. The population.
Actually, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we are open for business. In this case, and a lot of business people. Very good. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, but with friendship, step by step.
We need to try harder with the international market. And the local market likes it a lot.
This is very encouraging. That's maybe 200 acres. Yes. So the more we try, it will help us to conserve and manage people in a structure. So this is fantastic. It's really very exciting. John, what do you have to say?
No, really very excited, and it's just, as I said, 8 months later, we're seeing something like this, and the ecosystem will survive.
We really want to bring many selling to us. We're spending a lot of time with a lot of suppliers and business. Very good.